Tekashi 6ix9ine was at one point the hip-hop industry's biggest troll. He clowned on anyone that he could think of and often won his arguments by just being louder than the other person. The self-proclaimed King of New York has seen many moments under the media's microscope and is no stranger to controversy. Be sure to watch until the end of the video to hear about how 6ix9ine was almost killed by his own crew.
None, because I wasn't in the blood.
What you mean?
I wasn't a blood. Like, I wasn't a blood.
You waving this flag.
No, but I wasn't a blood before I got to know Yachty.
When did you become a? See, getting to know a blood
I was already,
don't make you a blood.
No, all right, so now let me tell you, because obviously
did they put you
on?
The
story. Yeah, they put me on.
Who put you on?
Yachty put me on.
Sexual misconduct with a minor. 6ix9ine was beginning to gain some notoriety for himself back in 2015. He hadn't quite broken out on the scene yet, but locally he was well known, and on social media, he had started to gain a following. On February 21st of that year, he had gone to an apartment in Harlem, New York, and following the events of that evening, he will forever be branded as a sex offender. A week and a half after that night at the Harlem apartment, a criminal complaint was filed against 6ix9ine and his associates that had all been present. This information was publicized in December of 2017 and states that Tekashi was involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. He had been recorded on video thrusting his pelvis behind a nude female while he smacked her on the butt. The girl turned out to be only 13 years old at the time of the incident. Meanwhile, 6ix9ine was 18. In another separate video, he could be seen with the same naked girl while she bounced up and down on his lap while another man poured liquid down her chest. 6ix9ine was arrested on March 5th, 2017, and charged with the use of a minor in sexual performance. He pleaded guilty to this charge in October of that year and ended up getting a plea deal that meant instead of doing time for being a child molester, he was only hit with a year of probation, 300 years of community service, as well as 2 years of mental health treatment. Though he was let off by the court system, the industry didn't make things that easy for him. Who had been an associate of Tekashi denounced wanting to do anything with him, and the two began beefing pretty heavily after Trippy called him out for being a sex offender.
There was no sexual intercourse between me and the female at all. It was just I got arrested for being in the situation.
Assaulting a 16-year-old. 6ix9ine had another run-in with a minor back in 2018. Only this time, though, he was facing backlash after physically assaulting a kid at the Galleria Mall in Houston, Texas. Now, like most cases, there are two sides to the story, neither of which validate Tekashi choking a 16-year-old kid for taking a video of him. Let's take it from the victim side of the story first. He claims that he had been spending some time with his family when he heard that 6ix9ine was chilling at the mall with Ugly God, so he went out to try and find them. He claims he was just doing the harmless fan thing and trying to get a picture with 6ix9ine to post on the internet when everything went south. He claims that as he took a picture of Tekashi, the rainbow-headed rapper charged the kid. The teen tried to flee but was eventually caught up, and in a video, you can see Tekashi and his goons surround the kid as he's all grabbed up. He then claims that Tekashi choked him and forced him to delete whatever video or snapshot he had gotten of him. If that's a true story, that's seriously messed up. Tekashi is a celebrity and needs to get used to people hounding him for pictures when he's out in public. That's just part of being in that business. Not everyone likes it, and oftentimes paparazzi will get cursed out or blown off. But you should never put your hands on a fan, especially a minor that was allegedly only trying to get a shot for his Insta. Tekashi tells a different story and claims that the kid actually ran up trying to troll him. He says that he ran up to him with his camera out, yelled, "There's the rapist," and tried to run. This is when Tekashi caught up to him, choked him, and forced him to delete the video. Now, if this is true, it doesn't really change anything and a lot of fans were still angry with him. Yeah, fans can be annoying, but like we said before, as a celebrity you have to learn to deal with that. And he also can't expect to troll people as much as he does and then act surprised when people try to troll him. No matter whose side of the story is true, I think everyone agrees that Tekashi took the L on that one. Another alleged case of sexual misconduct. Another woman came forward in 2018 claiming that 6ix9ine had slept with her despite knowing that she was underage. The woman claimed that the two had met in March of 2017 and let the rapper, who was 20 at the time, know that she was 17 and still underage. She goes on to say that the two had sexual contact in Los Angeles, even though he knew she was a minor. She also claimed that she wasn't trying to get him in trouble, she just felt that he needed to learn to stay in his lane. There was a lot of debate as to whether or not she was just clout chasing, but if she was sincere, someone needs to really teach Tekashi about why he can't be messing around with minors when he's an adult. It's gross.
Are you a registered sex offender?
Nah, I'm not.
Were you convicted of sex?
Nah, I'm not. You could actually look it up. You got a computer right there.
6ix9ine gets kidnapped. Tekashi 6ix9ine could probably pinpoint the scariest night of his life to the evening of July 22nd, 2018. It was on that night that he had been in the car with his driver when all of a sudden the driver got out of the car to deal with something. This is when 6ix9ine is forcibly removed from his car and kidnapped by his former blood associates. Video footage of the incident shows Tekashi's door being thrown open and him being told to give them everything he has. He immediately identifies the people trying to rob him and began to beg them to spare him. He tried to remind them all of the money he has made them and that he has always been good to him. They ultimately end up throwing him into their vehicle and driving off. During the court case where 6ix9ine was testifying against his old crew, he says that after they drove off and got to where they needed to be, the men removed him from the car and began to beat him. Then they propped him up and forced him to look at the camera while renouncing his membership as a Blood. He was forced to say, "I'm not Billy," 3 times, which is what Blood loyalists referred to themselves as. Afterward, the men that had taken Tekashi asked him one simple question: "How much is your life worth?" After agreeing that if 6ix9ine gives them 100 grand in jewelry, they will let him go free, Tekashi called up his baby's mother and girlfriend at the time and lets her know what to do. They then drove to the apartment and met her in exchange for multiple chains and a Rolex. They drove away with Tekashi still in their car and then let him out the side of the road after driving away. 6ix9ine says that he immediately ran up to their first car and that he saw and begged them to bring him to the police station. Everyone was happy to hear that he was safe, but a lot of people began to clown him for leading the goons to his family, whether it was to save his life or not. Many believe that he put them in danger.
Along that, I'm like, yo, he would have been back by now, checking if these people are okay. So I look at the little side view mirror of the car. When I see a guy coming with a big ass gun, just like hooded on, running towards my door, my heart dropped to my ass. I'm like, this can't be happening.
Final thoughts. No one knows what is going to come next for Tekashi after him claiming to being blackballed by the industry. No one knows if he will be dropping more music, or try to move on to other ways of making himself a bunch more money. No one can say for certain until we see it happen. But for now, be sure to subscribe to stay in tune with all of our hip hop news and information. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss our next upload. Until next time, stay safe out there.